Hey guys, and welcome back to another Axel 72 video, and I'm back doing another interview, and I'm here with Christian Schembri. How are you, lad?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Great, yes, it's a real pleasure to have you on the channel. And so, am I right in saying you're 30, you're a middleweight, and you're 21 and 9, correct?
Exactly, and I'm from the great island of Malta in the Mediterranean.
Yes, okay. And so if you're new around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need to like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, the starting question, which I always like to start off with, is who inspired you to get into boxing?
So, like boxing since I was a kid, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, reading about them. I used to watch a lot of kickboxing fights and boxing fights with my dad, so it was always in the back of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I played, I did karate and played football when I was a kid, like most kids in Malta. Then when I was around 19 years old, I got fed up
Mm-hmm.
of playing football. And I started it. I come from a family of fighters, so it's like whether it's martial arts and bar fights and stuff like that, quite a tough family.
Mm-hmm.
Come from quite a tough family, so it's kind of like second nature to me growing up as well.
Definitely. And so, did you go down the amateur route like a lot of fighters do?
No, unfortunately, because back then in Malta, when I started 10 years ago, there
Mm-hmm.
was like an amateur show every year. So I had one amateur fight, then I was waiting for another one, and it got delayed from December to January to February. So then, a couple of weeks before an unlicensed show, they called my coach, see if he had an 80-kilo fighter, and he asked me, I said, yeah, why not? And we got a licensed fight, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Continued unlicensed from there. I have like 24 unlicensed fights, I think. 23, been to England a couple of times as well, been to fight in Essex and in Birmingham as well, unlicensed. It was a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Great.
it not boxing wise, the level is not the greatest, but
Mm.
you reach your ceiling quite quickly. But I mean, it was nice to travel and stuff. It was a good experience.
Of course, yeah. And so you've had you've had 30 fights now. And so, which fight would you say you've performed your best in?
Against Scott Dixon, my last fight, I did really good. Which is not my last fight, the last of our fights, the
Mm-hmm.
third fight was really good. And I mean, if I had to choose an outstanding performance, which was not technically brilliant, it was my first pro fight. I took it on
Oh
10
wow.
days' notice, did 10 rounds with the same guy, Scott Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people thought I won, although I lost by majority decision, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people called me crazy for taking 10 rounds on my first fight, but like I used to spar 3 times a week, 8 to 10 rounds. So yeah. But then I had another one. I have like I think my three favorite performances, apart from the first one, would be my last fight against Scott Dixon,
Mm-hmm.
against a really tough Czech guy called Thomas Bezvoda,
Mm-hmm.
and against an Italian guy, Luigi Leonardi. My last fight, I was quite good in it as well, but the one versus Luigi Leonardi he had an okay record, and he was a tough out. He had a winning record, although he fought mainly as the away fighter, so I beat him quite convincingly, and I was really happy with my performance. So.
Mm-hmm. Great. And I've always kind of respected you as a fighter on the fact of you aren't afraid to like you said, going straight in with a 10 round fight. You're not
Yeah.
afraid to go in with the hard fights.
Nah, I mean that's what I'm boxing for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean I took my first fight. It was 10 rounder. Then I lost it by split decision, so I was never going to retire with majority. I was never going to retire like Floyd Mayweather undefeated.
Yeah.
Then I went to Italy after a year in Rome, and I had a close fight, which I lost by decision against a very good like prospects from there.
Mm-hmm.
Vincenzo Bevilacqua. He came to England to fight as well. He fought, if I'm not mistaken, not that Cheeseman, another guy who was quite good. So yeah, I mean, it's boxing. I mean, you have to think ahead. You know, you cannot just take tough fight after tough fight because, especially when you don't come from a great boxing country like England, your opportunities are limited. You know,
Mhm.
but when good opportunities present themselves, like to go to Switzerland and to go to England and even in Malta, I fought Maltese fighters. I got tough fighters in here as well to fight. I mean, you training twice a day, yeah.
Mhm.
So I basically do like between 6 and 9 boxing lessons a day.
Mhm. Oh
I
wow.
do my road work or my conditioning at 5 in the morning, and then I have my boxing either at 11 or at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I have lessons in between. If I'm training like mad like that from Monday to Friday, sometimes Saturday as well, what good would it be then for fight night to come and have someone which you're gonna knock over with your first punch, you know?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, I get what you're saying completely, and
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, you have been on the end of a few defeats, and so I was wondering how tough is it to bounce back from a defeat?
Always very tough. You always, if I could, like if I lose on Saturday, I would fight again on Sunday to try and win, you know?
Mm.
I mean, it's very tough because it is you, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fight. So when you lose a fight, I've never been knocked out with a reliable chance, but still, you know, I hate it, especially after you work so hard.
Mhm.
And sometimes there are at least 2 matches out of those 9 that I would swear on anything you ask me to that I won, and I got the wrong decision. Sometimes judging can be really dodgy.
Mm.
And then I've got a few of them which were really close, like, I mean, razor thin decisions, you know, that could have gone my way. So then when you think about all the hard work that you do and it doesn't go your way, but I mean, I swear I'm retired the night of the fight. Then the next morning I wake up, I'm feeling good, you know, moving around, throwing a few punches, thinking like, maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done this. Like, all right.
Mhm.
Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, I'm back in the gym and say, fuck it, I give it another go, you know. Pardon
Yeah.
my French.
No, it's completely fine. I get what you mean, and I do respect the commitment that you're showing to the sport, and
You have to. It's a dangerous game, you know. You can
mhm.
get injured badly if you're training, let alone if you're not training. You know, you go in there, you can get hurt. I mean, it's tough sport, but wouldn't change it for anything.
Definitely, and I mean you're on a bit of a win streak now, and so I was kind of wondering when will we be seeing you back fighting? Do you have a roundabout date yet?
Uh, in October,
Mhm.
probably mid-October. I got a date already,
Mhm.
but I'm waiting for a couple of things to confirm. But in October, I'll be fighting for sure. Because I help out with the promotional side as well here. Because I
Mhm.
mean, boxing is small and it's quite heavy to put on a promotion.
Mhm.
So I help out with the promotion as well. I've
Right.
been doing it for like since COVID started.
Mhm.
Even before I did it, but every once in a while. Now it's like almost every show that's happening, I'm helping with it. So I'm, yeah, waiting for some kind of confirmations from different loose ends that need to be tied up. So then I'll confirm who I'm fighting and when I'm fighting.
Definitely, and so you spoke a little bit on the previous answer about how you can just get straight back in the gym, and I'm sure there's been certain days where you've just not wanted to go in the gym. But I was wondering what keeps you motivated.
Just to be the best version of myself that I can be. I believe in myself, and I would back myself against any fighter. And I have targets which I want to reach. I have belts which I want to win. And I believe in myself that I can do it. I think I'm in the best shape of my life. Um, been sparring really good. So that's it basically. That's why, because I think I'm within reach to get what I want um, soon enough, not very far away. So that's what keeps me going, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, and especially because it wasn't. If you look at all my losses, most of them are online.
Mm.
Most of my fights are online. All of them were competitive. It was never like I was outclassed, you know.
Definitely, yeah.
So a few rounds here, a few rounds there could have gone my way. Like my record would be a lot different. And I could have gotten a lot more breaks. I could have been at the level that I want to be at right now before that. So I mean, in one way, it's my fault because I didn't dominate the fight to win it. But on the other hand, it's like sometimes you don't just get the rub of the green, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you look at it that way, it's like if I get knocked out after first round, like cold, or I don't know, totally outclassed, then rounds to zero, where I don't have a punch on the guy. But anybody who goes into the fight with me knows that afterwards they know that they've been in a fight, you know. So
Yeah, yeah. I get you. I get you. And so you spoke about you can see big things coming for you in the future, and so where do you what have you seen yourself accomplish in the next 5 years? What belts or in general?
I want to get to European level for sure,
Hmm.
for sure.
Hmm.
That's it. That's why I work so hard because I mean it's my dream, it's my goal. I'm putting some things in place. I've got a good coach in Malta now as well. He's got quite good experience. He had good fighters
Hmm.
in England as well, which turned pro. He's living in Malta now. So we get the ball. I'm getting the ball rolling with him, so that then next year we can get on to bigger fights and stuff like that.
Hmm. Yes,
You
definitely.
know?
And sorry.
No, it's alright.
All right. Okay. And so yeah, definitely. I get what you mean, and I'm sure it won't be too long till you are fighting for these European belts.
Yeah, from your lips to God's ears. I mean, you know how it is. You have to win a regional belt first, and then you shoot up the rankings. Once you're in the rankings of the sanctioning bodies, then I guess you qualify for the EBU titles as well.
Hmm.
You have to be in the EBU rankings.
Hmm.
So, I lost both, but I fought for the WBC Youth and I fought for the IBO Continental versus Nathan Heaney in Stoke, and he's fighting a guy I was training recently because you know Jack Flatley.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly, he came down to Malta on holiday, and he reached out to me to get in the gym with me, and I held pass for him and stuff like that. A week later, a couple of weeks later, he messaged me. He told me, "Hey, listen, I'm fighting one of your old opponents, Nathan Heaney." Nathan Heaney is a class act as well. He's a really
Hmm.
good guy. I mean, from what I've seen, like when I fought him and afterwards we talked and stuff, he's a really nice guy.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, he's got a big British fan base, and I'm glad that there is a mutual respect between you two.
And I never experienced an atmosphere like that in my life.
Hmm.
Never. At one point, I mean, he hit me with in the fourth round, I think it was fourth round. He hit me with like three body shots on the liver.
Hmm.
I don't know how I stayed up. And you can hear the whole crowd going like, "Yeah, kill him, come on, Nathan!" And then he starts singing as well at the same time. He's bouncing up and down and singing with the Delilah and whatever. One of the Western fights, I'm like, what the hell is wrong here? This is not like a small country. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then on the other end, when you hit him really good
Mm.
and you know he's in trouble,
Mm.
and you know even more he's in trouble because the crowd goes silent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's like, now I got you, you
Yeah.
know.
And so you spoke a bit about the English fans there, but I was wondering what is the Moldovan support like for you?
The Malta support, Malta.
Moldova, my bad.
Now it's good. Well, I sell quite a bit of tickets. I have a lot of supporters from the gym that come to watch me, my family, friends. So I sell between like I think the most I've sold, which for Malta is good, is about 180 for a
Mhm.
fight.
Mhm.
And then on average, I sell about 100 or 20 a fight. Sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more. And yeah, I mean, the best is when you come in and they're shouting and cheering for you. But it's not as constant as in England.
Mhm.
So it's like, you know, when you have the football fans or the really
Yeah.
rabid
Yeah.
fans that they're like singing all the time. It's like they're shouting like, come on, do this, do that. Then when you land a really good punch, then they come off their feet and start
Mhm.
shouting and stuff, or you knock the guy out.
Mhm.
But it's not like the constant support as in what Nathan Heaney had. I mean, not even like all the fighters in England, they don't experience that. I think very few experience that. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely an interesting thing that might be a bit difficult for other fighters to come in and experience as an away fighter.
But well, I mean, for me, I didn't let it get to me. You know, in the
Mhm.
beginning, I let the occasion get to me a little bit because I
Mhm.
went out and I wanted to rip his head off. but then after a few rounds, I calmed down. And I mean, you have to be able to have tunnel vision, to just uh, like block everything out and just hear your corner and his corner what they're saying, and focus on your opponent. That's it. Because if you let defense get to you, like when you're fighting him, if you let defense get to you, like and the thing is now he's fighting in bigger stadiums. When we fought in the Stoke Hall, I forgot which one, what was the name of it. It's really small, so
Hmm.
like the noise is like you have the people on the balconies over you almost hanging. So if you let that get to you, it's like then you're done. After a couple of months, you fall.
Definitely, yeah, I completely understand that. And you spoke a little bit about the fact that you want to go on and push for European titles, and so I was kind of wondering if you could fight anybody in your weight category, what would be a dream opponent?
Well, Canelo moved up now because he's ducking me, so. Nah, but I mean, all the world champions, of course, I would take the fight in a heartbeat. The champion at European level right now as well.
Hmm.
But I wouldn't mind having a rematch with Nathan Heaney if I had to fight him again
Hmm.
for it. That would be great. That would be great. That would be such like a full circle kind of.
Hmm. Definitely. And so,
But tell me,
yeah, I was just gonna say it would be an interesting fight to see you back with him again.
yeah, 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 really good. I mean, there's a killer at the moment as well, Yanibek Alim Hanalai, something like that.
All right.
He's from Uzbekistan. He's
Mm-hmm.
the Demetrius Andre.
Mm-hmm.
He just dropped his belt and went up to super middleweight as one fight. I mean, there's good champions, but I would take any champion, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what every fight dreams of. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And so I'll leave it with this final question. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
I would like to shout out my gym, Fort Fitness, for supporting me from the first day that I worked there, and all of my sponsors, Vergata, Printart, Mr. Casanova.com, EHL Tool Hire, Starman Takeaway. And if you want to follow me, you can follow me on my Instagram, Joos_Christian. I've got a website as well, www.joos.com, or on Facebook, so with my name. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Great.
that's
Okay.
it. And I would like to shout out the interviewer, Axel,
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
for inviting me over.
No, it's a real pleasure. You gave me some very insightful knowledge.
That's good.
Mm-hmm. Great. Okay, and if you're on around here and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do indeed like the video, and thanks for watching.